welcome back to another video. If you didn't check the last video out, give that one a watch. I've had a few parts fitted to the car, baffled some rear bearings, but more importantly, and the sort of star of the show, is my new ZPO shifter. I've done this video not because it's as such been requested, but a friend of mine, good friend of mine, said, look, it's quite a unique situation, you should do a sort of comparison video if you can. So I've been filming a couple of little bits over the last couple of days. You know, one with a couple of bits with the CE in the car, one of it out the car, and then obviously a couple with the ZPO in the car. Been out, had a try of it now, fully adjusted it, great, really enjoying it. Got a few finishing touches to make, but nothing mental. I just thought this would be a good video to make because it is a lot of people have been buying these shifters and just replacing standard shifters with them, so they're going to rave about them. It's going to be completely different for them, and you know, these shifters, ZPO CAEs, they are experience altering shifters. They change the way the car drives just massively. They're so worth the money. The CE is obviously the more expensive of the two, and I think for me, I've had that fitted since I've got the car, and it's been great. It's quite a hardcore shifter though. It's a real heavy duty piece of kit with its own cables. And when I say experience altering, it really does. It gives you such a race car feel to the car, and you get race car noises such as engine and transmission noises coming through the shifter into the car. I'm not over exaggerating there. I wanted the ZPO at a personal preference. I've driven them on Renaults, Clios, things like that.
Hey, fucking take it easy. I've got to get this home.
Really liked them, so when I found out they were making one for the Astra, I just knew straight away I had to have one. So now it's in, it's great. Like I said, done these couple of videos trying to offer a bit of a comparison. I've tried my best. You know, if you're looking for a CE shifter or a ZPO shifter, maybe this will be of some help to you deciding between the two. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So here we are in the car as it has been for the last few years. This CE shifter here was fitted by the previous owner. Now, a bit like the ZPO, they're a bit iffy to run with a standard centre console, so mine's just never had that. Not since this has gone in anyway by the previous chap who owned it. But as you can see, it runs a slightly different cable setup to the ZPO, which utilises the OEM cables, which kind of makes it very stiff shifter. You can feel how mechanical that really is. Now, it is awesome, but just personal preference, it's quite hard work. Awesome bit of kit, but just fancy a change and something new. And as I said before in another video, the ZPO is just an epic piece of kit. Car's going off tomorrow for that to be done. It is something I can probably do myself realistically, but I'm just lacking time to get it done. But yeah, bye CAE, and soon hello ZPO. So as you can see, hello ZPO. Really nice finished knob on these, doing loads of different colours. First differences you might see versus the CAE are the OEM cables back in place, and there's definitely some differences between the tower, which I'll go over in the video as well. There's definitely a bit more flex in the tower Don't know if you'll see that on video. Not a great deal, but it's there, which is something you don't get with the CAE. But the throw on this is tiny, like really small. You can see. Now this needs a little bit of adjustment first, because there's some grub screws down here, and it's making engagement of fifth not particularly easy, but I'll play with that and hopefully get it to work. So actually pretty easy to adjust, to be fair. This is by no means a how-to, because I'm not qualified in any way, shape or form to be giving anyone any advice, but it's essentially, from what I can work out, if you're having problems getting clear engagement of gear on this side, then you adjust the grub screw on the other side, which I'm doing now. And as you can see, I'm just twisting that a little bit out, and now I'm getting an actual clear engagement of fifth and sixth gear, which is what I was missing. And now that I've got that clear engagement, I'm not going to be having issues with tower flex, because I felt like I was forcing it a little bit too much. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this. I think I've got it exactly how I want. Like I said, it's a pretty easy thing to do by just adjusting these couple of grub screws, which are just here and here. Obviously first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, and then sort of as they're in fifth and sixth gears and first and second, I've tightened these other grub screws up again. But I mean, it's already a lot smoother. You can hear the difference in the shift. Just that clunkiness isn't there. Overall, I'm really impressed. I've got a bit of cable work which was stuck to my CAE, which I've got to sort out and just tidy up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, bang on. Nice little upgrade. So, as we can see, the CAE shifter is now out of the car. And this is essentially what makes up your kit. So, there's all these various washers and little clips for it there. As I described in my last video, if you've seen it, now this is the OEM sort of shifter arm lever that sits on top of the gearbox. Except you have to modify it for a CAE by cutting off the counterweight, grinding it down and making it good, so that you can fit these bits onto it. I don't know why it's like that, but it just is. Then, unlike a ZPO that utilises OEM cables, these carry its own. It's got their own set that are designed specifically for use with a shifter. Now, one thing about these is I think this is what adds to the real clunkiness of the shifter. And they are really good, but very heavy duty, and also they lack any sort of bushing. So what you get, I find, is a lot of noise transfer from the engine bay and transmission into the cabin. So one thing I've noticed straight away with this versus a ZPO is the noise in the cabin is so much less. Although they're the same thing, what I've noticed as well is the throw on this definitely isn't as short as a ZPO. Overall, this is just going to be a lot more mechanical, clunky feel versus a ZPO. If you're looking at value for money, the value for money is in the ZPO rather than one of these. They are substantially cheaper, especially for the base model of the ZPO. Obviously, ZPO can get very expensive, and you've got a lot more customization options on a ZPO versus one of these. I think these come in this black finish or a bare metal aluminium type finish. Obviously, you can buy a couple of different knobs for it and stuff like that, but essentially, you've only got one colour. One pro about this, I will say, is the tower is extremely sturdy. I mean, you can see how much there is to this. They've got all these corner pieces, which the ZPO is kind of lacking. Maybe that's where your extra dosh goes. Not entirely sure. but both awesome things. But I think buying new, money goes on ZPO rather than one of these. But that is not to say these are bad. They're just different, a lot more different, a bit more hardcore, I'd say. But yeah, sorry to see it go, to be fair. It's been good, but you know, ZPO I think's personally what I'm going to want more out of a shifter. I hope those have been of use to you. I hope I've made sense and in some of the stuff that I'm saying. These are great things to add to the car, and they do cost a few quid, but 100% thoroughly recommended. The CEE was great, but I think it does boil down purely to personal experience. Some people might want a more hardcore, immersive piece of kit, whereas other people might want something that's going to work on a daily and, you know, be great on track too, or fast road application. It's just down to what you fancy, but hopefully that's come across as I wanted it to come across, and hope you enjoyed. But thanks for watching. If you're new, subscribe. If you're not, stay subscribed. I've got more coming, and catch you in the next video.